Your goals need to be absolutely and utterly ridiculous. And this is not hyperbole. Welcome all to your space for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. It's a we thing, everybody, because, one person could do a lot of cool things, but we as a collective, what are we talking about here? There's nothing we can't do because everybody has their own different strengths and weaknesses. I just got on the soapbox. Now I'm going to come off that soapbox. But yes, I do believe that everybody has their own strengths, their own weaknesses. Quick announcements. The money-making playbook. Yes, you're underpaid. Here's why. Get the free guide down below, okay? You're underpaid. You're undervalued. You're on the road to burnout. Let's change that. Get the free guide. Other housekeeping things, not really right now. Support me on all my social media, like, comment. It means a lot. I really would appreciate it. So just some quick announcements there. I really would appreciate your support and commenting and really supporting this movement to end burnout, whatever that looks like for us as a community, as well as what it looks like just to continue growing every single day. All right. So it's the end of the first quarter. So we're going to talk about that. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the end of the first quarter. We're going to talk about where we feel like we're at mentally. We're going to talk about the good things that are going on. We're going to talk about the bad things that are going on in our lives. And ultimately getting to the fact that your goals need to be ridiculous. All right, let's get into it. So yes, it is the first quarter. All right. We're at the end of the first quarter. All right. The Lakers are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves in game one. Well, as this is getting recorded, that hasn't happened yet, but it either happened on Saturday or Sunday. I don't know what day they're playing, but this is not a basketball podcast. But if you want a basketball podcast, I can do that for you. It's one of my hobbies. If I'm not recording a podcast, if I'm not working with clients, I'm probably listening to some basketball news. Besides the point, nevertheless, when I say end of the first quarter, January, February, March, April. We are at the end of April, everyone. How wild is that? We are at the end of April. So it's the time to check in, okay? It's the time to check in. Are we making motions? Are we making moves? Are we going in the right trajectory? All right. We are literally at the end of April. Do you understand that at the point when this podcast comes out, after a couple of days, it's going to be May. It's going to be May. And April might have been a tough month. But you know what they say? April showers bring May's flowers. So as we're getting a little corny today on the podcast, but it's true, okay? Because if there's snow, there's rain mentally in your life, what does it look like to get back up? Okay. But not saying that you've fallen or anything like that, but how has your first quarter actually gone? Do you recognize that we're 4 months through, like literally? And I'm just painting this picture so you all get the idea. When you write the date in a few days, you're going to say 05/1/2025, which is also crazy. But 05, okay? So things that I want you to understand about this portion of the episode is that time waits for no one. Time waits for no one. Therefore, action is required. You can always make an excuse for not doing the thing. Way back when I first became blind, I was in the newspaper. And the title of the article was titled A Vision of Hope. Pocono Record. You probably can look it up. Maybe you can still find it online. I know newspaper stuff might be hard to find these days. They might want you to pay for it. Um, Besides the point, nevertheless, I was on the newspaper. And in this article titled A Vision of Hope, they quoted me. Obviously, it was about me. So obviously, they quoted me. What am I talking about, Tariq? Follow me on the journey, will you? So they quoted me, but it's interesting. They misquoted me, but it was fine. I just thought it was cool to be in the newspaper. What they said was that you can always find a reason to get out there and do whatever it is you want to do. Something along those lines. Like they opposite quoted me. And so I'm gonna tell you what the real quote with what I was meaning to say was, and meaning that time keeps on moving, right? So what I actually said to them was that you can literally always find a reason to not do something. Yes, you heard me right. You can literally always find a reason to not do something. I could not get out of bed because I'm having a rough day. I could not get out of bed because I didn't sleep well. But how does that push me forward to where I want to be in my life? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like you can literally, I have so many reasons to not be recording this podcast in front of you all. But it's important for me because I feel like there's somebody that needs to hear these messages. And there's not enough people talking about it. And if they are, they're not doing it how I'm doing it. And I haven't seen it. So, so it's important to me. And I hope that it's important to you all listening. The fact of the matter is, you can literally always find a reason to not do the thing. I promise. There's never going to be a perfect time. Like, I can go through this like very intricately. Maybe I will in another episode if people comment and that's what they want to hear. But truthfully, this may sound negative, but it's the truth. You can literally always find a reason to not do something. The first quarter's over, and you probably made several reasons why you didn't do the thing. You made several reasons why you couldn't do the thing. Let me give you one reason why you should. Because internally, you know it's your purpose. See, everybody talks about I need to find my passion. But the thing is, you made a goal 4 months ago and you're negotiating on not doing it. We've talked about this consistently. There's no more negotiating with ourselves. We wanna negotiate with everybody. No, we don't. We only want to negotiate with ourselves. That's it. Why are we doing that? Because we feel like we can get away with it with ourselves? I talked about this on Instagram the other day. At our jobs, at wherever, okay? We find a way to bend over backwards for everybody else but ourselves. So, if anything else, as we walk into the second quarter, hold on, as we sprint into the second quarter of May, start. Maybe not the best visual for the YouTube audience, but how about you start bending over backwards for yourself? You do it for everybody else. How about you start bending over backwards for yourself? Because if the first quarter hasn't gone how you wanted it to go, okay, fine. You need to take this advice. If it has gone where you wanted it to go, excellent. Keep doing what you're doing, but now bend over backwards for yourself. This is not the time to relax. Okay? Keep doing you. So we talked about the fact that if things are going good, what does that look like? Excellent. Great question. I'd love to tell you. It looks like consistency. So you're getting a lot of common quotes that I've said in the past before, but the difference between good and great is consistency. So we need consistency plus bending over backwards for you, which may include some setting of boundaries. So have the conversations you need to have because now we're in a second quarter. And I received some business advice like a year or so ago about how the goals that people have for their business. And think about the goals that you have for your business. All right, great. You want to do that in a year? Work on doing it in the next 4 months. Break it up in quarters. Okay. So whatever it is, sprint into the second quarter. Let's make it happen. You have momentum, keep it moving. You don't have momentum, bend over backwards for you and get it together. Let's go. Let's make it happen. So when things aren't going your way, the world will try to pull you down. See, misery loves company, right? So be mindful of those situations. And as it enters the workplace, as it enters your life socially, when it comes to some of the negative pieces of what may have happened to you in the first quarter, understand this. I mentioned boundaries before, but let's be a little bit stronger with that. You do not have to tolerate it. Let me tell you a story. So, I was at a center for blind people and I was doing my thing, doing my studying, all that, trying to get better, best version of me. All right. That's what we're talking about. A new student gets in, and we're all adults. Okay. So, a new client comes in and he's scoping out the place and he ends up being one of my roommates. All right. And he's like, Tariq, like, you seem really cool. But, oh, come on, of course I'm cool. Besides the, but he's like, Tariq's cool, you know what I mean? But Tariq, that one guy, he's a little weird, Tariq. I don't trust him. And I responded to him. I said, um, okay. So then he was like taken aback by this, that I didn't have a strong statement of agreement with him. All right. And he said to me, Tariq, what? Like, do you trust him? And I said to the guy, I said, listen, I've never really thought about it. I have nothing. I'm not giving him anything to trust him with. So I don't care to trust him or not trust him. I'm not, like, he's not getting that opportunity to have trust or anything like that. So I don't care. And that was so mind boggling to him. Like, wow, you don't care to, because you have nothing to trust him with. I bring up this story to say is that when you go into this next quarter of the year, I almost said of your life, but no, of this next quarter of the year, because we got a lot of work to do this year. Um, as you go into this next quarter, there are things that you just cannot tolerate. There are things that we're just not participating in. All right. And so, whatever that list looks like for you, we need to make sure that we're just not participating in it. We're not tolerating it. Like, I literally just choose not to participate. That person doing whatever in the corner of my life or wherever, they could be there. That's fine. I just don't have to tolerate. I'm not cool. That doesn't affect me and what I'm doing. It doesn't affect you and what you're doing. So why am I going to dwell on it? What are we talking about here? Let's go. Come on now. So as we've talked about the first quarter, because we're here now, time is moving. We've talked about some of the positives, and moving forward, we've talked about some of the negatives and what this has looked like. All right. We can't dwell on the time that has been lost. So if you are in this negative place, if you are in a positive place, either or, we're not sitting in what we haven't done. We're standing on what we're going to do. And what we're going to do is going to lead us into our goals. And yes, you heard me correct in the beginning. Your goals need to be ridiculous. Your goals need to be absolutely and utterly ridiculous. And this is not hyperbole. This is not conjecture. This is not innuendo. This is not a joke. Your goals need to be ridiculous. Because the people around you and other people are going to think that it's weird. They've got to think that it's ridiculous. Because when I say that your goals need to be ridiculous, there's a sense of pushing yourself to the next level. There's a sense of a few episodes ago getting out of that comfort zone. There's a space there for recognizing that the fear that we have to have a ridiculous goal, that nothing can stop us in getting to that thing, because there are going to be people that don't get what you want to do for you. There are going to be people that think that it's impossible for you to afford the $1 million house. There are going to be people out there that don't believe that you can spend the money in going on the nice vacation. There are going to be people out there that don't believe that you could create a business on your own. There are going to be people that don't believe that you can leave your corporate job. That's ridiculous. You already make good money. That's ridiculous. You can't make more. That's ridiculous. You're being greedy. You're this, you're that. I don't care what other people think. You don't care what other people think. They're your goals. Let them be ridiculous to other people. They're not ridiculous to you. Let your goals be ridiculous to other people. That's fine. That doesn't affect you. Unless you let it affect you in its first quarter and you don't have the momentum that you should have right now. See, the thing about the Speak Your Vision podcast is that this is your space for everything empowerment, and we're going to keep it real with you. See, in the first quarter, I've had some wins. I don't think I've had the wins that I expected that I would have. Wins like winning my first grant. And not these headphones, but winning the an Amplify grant and coaching from the Amplify New Voices program, AIR, American Independent Radio, amazing. Other grants I've applied to did not get. But then coaching from different individuals and being able to get some new clients and be able to make some more impact. Am I where I want to be? No. Am I where I thought I would be? No. It's like it kind of balances itself out. But I've been consistent in showing up here for the clients and showing up for you listeners. And that's been awesome. That's been great. People might think my podcast is ridiculous. But that's fine. You listen, you know the impact that we talk about here. Come on now. So what happens is, let's get back to it. Your goals need to be ridiculous. You are going to come across some people that don't believe in what your goals are. And real quick, if your goals aren't ridiculous to anybody, if they're not even a little bit ridiculous to you, then maybe you should push yourself a little bit harder. Maybe you're limiting yourself. And I don't know the answer to that, right? I don't know the answer to that. Only you can answer that. But if your goals aren't ridiculous to anyone, You are dangerously on the border, if not fully jumped over the line of limiting yourself to what you can achieve for you in your life. So as you go into this second quarter, whatever that New Year's resolution was, whatever that goal is you have for the year, um, maybe it's still your goal now. Maybe it's not. Maybe it needs to be a bit bigger. Make that goal a bit more ridiculous. Okay. Make that goal ridiculous. This is not a joke. This is real. Because if you don't make it ridiculous, then maybe you're limiting yourself. So, what does it really look like to set these goals, right? See, there's a lot of different strategies and ways to do this. I saw a reel the other day and I meant to look at it before I started recording and I didn't. But I had come across it and I didn't listen to the whole thing and I'll listen to it. Maybe I'll talk about it in the description. Maybe I'll talk about it fully in another episode, but I'm going to get into a little bit now anyway. I'm kind of just guessing on what it says. But someone said, who I respect wholeheartedly, respect a lot, this person, um, said in some social media content to not do vision boards. Um, I'm not going to tell you that uh I'm all in on vision boards. And for those who don't know what a vision board is, it's basically, well, real quick, it can be whatever you want it to be. But in its general and conventional traditional fashion, it's a poster or some sort with pictures of the things that you want you put on the poster. Someone said do vision like someone said don't do vision boards. Don't do them. Absolutely not. I'm here to tell you that you could set and create your goals any way that you want. If you want to create a vision board, cool. If you want to write them down, great. If you want to tell someone, even better. Accountability partner, let's get it. So I should have said this in the very beginning, but pull out your pen and paper, do whatever those things are, write down your goals for the second quarter. Not for the year, for the second quarter, or maybe after you leave this episode or while you're listening to me, pause this podcast episode and write down your goals for the second quarter. If you're listening to me, awesome. If you're not listening to me, fine. You're a rebel. Do it after the episode. But know where you're putting your goals. If it's sending them to a friend, if it's posting them on social media, if it's writing them down, if it's creating a vision board. But here's the thing about goal setting and what this looks like for us in the second quarter. Someone asked me once upon a time, do vision boards work? Hold on, I'll be right back. And we're back. So someone asked me once upon a time, do vision boards work? Because I actually had recorded a YouTube video about vision boards and all that good stuff. Um, and I thought it was a great question. Um, but see, I'm the kind of person where I like to push your mind. Okay, I like to push your mind. All right. So I said, okay, great question. Um, Great question. I'd love to tell you, but I have a question for you first. Does your car work? This is like a ridiculous question, right? Does your car work? Is your car working currently? And real quick, I'm not asking that person right now. I'm asking you. Does your car work? And if you're listening to me while you're driving your car, fine, you win. But does your car work? I would argue that your car, I don't drive. But look at these car keys. Okay. I would argue that the car that these keys belong to, that car does not work. That car does not work unless I put in the work to put these keys in the ignition, start the car, push on the gas. Vroom, vroom. Okay? I'm not saying this to tell a joke, but it's the truth. The car does not work unless you put in the work to move said car and drive said car. Or for the self-driving car, oh, Tariq, self-driving cars now, Waymo. Okay, fine. You got to hit the app. You got to direct it. There are buttons. There's work that needs to be done in order for these things to happen. So if you want your vision board to work, if you want your list of goals to happen, if you want to have your friend as your accountability partner that you tell your goals to, all these things are just avenues. They're just avenues. The question is, are you going to drive yourself down that avenue to get to the actual goal? Are you going to actually put in the work to get to where you want to be? That's what we're talking about here. So, the question is, are you putting in the work in the second quarter? Are you going to make it happen? Only you could answer that. Only you could answer that. But make sure that you're not settling on your goals. If you settled in the first quarter, this is no longer the time to settle. This is your time right now. The first quarter is over. We're about to be in May. Don't set goals for the year. Set goals for the next 4 months. We got May, June, July, August. Am I doing that right? September, October, November. Hold on. Wait. That's hilarious. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Either way, we're already in the second quarter. We're already in the second quarter. Are you doing what you got to do? Are you holding yourself accountable? What do we got going on here? We're a full month in. See, time is moving. Time is moving. What are we going to do about it? You're right. We're already in the second quarter, right? And don't hold yourself back. Make your goals ridiculous. Get to those goals. Don't limit yourself. Time keeps moving. Time keeps moving. All right? So focus yourself. Do whatever it is you got to do for you. I'm not going to give you specific things to do because you got to find that within you. However, this is the roadmap. This is the guidance. Let's find out what works for you. But ultimately, we're sprinting into the second quarter. We're keeping it pushing. We're keeping it moving. We're bending over backwards for ourselves so that we could reach, ultimately, our limitless goals. Once again, this is the Speak Your Vision podcast. Grab the money-making playbook. Yes, you're underpaid. Here's why. Here is what to do about it. Down below. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Get focused. And ultimately, no matter how ridiculous other people might think it is, let's get those dreams. Vision. But once again, not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. Let's get it.